What is going on, guys? My name is W. Thank you very much for joining me for this WWE Backlash pay-per-view review as we talk about all the matches. And before we even get started, we've got to celebrate and open up a can to the man himself, the Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. We're going to pour this right in. We just got to pour it in and celebrate his victory, his greatness. I said this was going to happen, and it finally did. So this is to you. That's way too much head. I poured that at a horrible angle. But we had WWE Backlash tonight, which was a Smackdown exclusive pay-per-view. Now, we haven't really reviewed pay-per-views as of late because there really hasn't been anything notable to talk about until we come to WWE Backlash. Tonight's pay-per-view is pretty standard for the most part. We're going to go over the matches really quick and leading into the main event and talk about my excitement into the main event. So, the pre-show was obviously Tye Dillinger versus Aiden English. Now, Aiden English recently spun off from Simon Gotch and the Vaudevillains. They were tag team partners, and then Simon Gotch got released by WWE, and Simon Gotch is now doing his own thing. So by doing his own thing, we get the old Aiden English back that I always wanted. Aiden English, the singing Aiden English, was the one I always wanted. So the fact that we got that Aiden English back is a good thing. But there was no real reason for him to win tonight because when you go back to your old gimmick, there was nothing about that gimmick that you had to win. You had to be dominant. And that's where I thought, okay, Tye Dillinger's going to win easily here. Now, Tye Dillinger ended up winning. Aiden English got a surprising amount of offense in, and his pants looked pretty amazing, and I'll be 100% honest with you, I thought it was pretty cool. Then we came to the actual pay-per-view, the actual contest where the matches started, and this is where things got a little bit... It was pretty standard for the most part as a pay-per-view. You had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler, which I think pretty much everybody in the world knew that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win. But to me, I think Dolph Ziggler put up one hell of a match, and I think Dolph Ziggler really cemented himself. I think the match went to about 7:25. So from the start of the pay-per-view with introductions and everything till the pinfall and the end of the match was about 26 minutes, 25 minutes roughly. That's a long time. If you think about Shinsuke, this whole pay-per-view was built on Shinsuke Nakamura, and it was built on Shinsuke himself. And what I mean by that, if you guys saw the posters, it was all Shinsuke Nakamura. This was his debut. And I think this is what WWE should do. They should save Shinsuke Nakamura to be the big thing, because Shinsuke Nakamura is the big thing. He's number one. He's their big draw on SmackDown. Whether or not the U.S. fans like him, the worldwide fans, Shinsuke Nakamura is number one. And that's something to really keep in mind. Now, when it comes to the other matches in the card, what did I think about Shinsuke and Dolph Ziggler? Dolph Ziggler put out 2 videos before the pay-per-view tonight talking about how he was going to win, and Dolph, we know you're not going to win. Shinsuke was always going to win. I put out a joking tweet a few hours before saying he was going to win, and it wasn't for any specific reason other than, trying to be contrarian a little bit for it to pull a DFS term. By the way, if you want to play fantasy sports, link in the description. But I wanted to just put out a tweet to at least say, if he did win, look what happened. But Shinsuke won. But the way he won, I thought, was pretty cool, because last night's NXT pay-per-view was fantastic, and last night's NXT pay-per-view had a lot of great matches and a lot of great finishes, and tonight it really added on to that. So in the Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler match, they were going into the corner, and then Dolph Ziggler reversed it, hit a super kick, missed it, and then Shinsuke would eventually counter and then hit the knee. The only thing I would say is the fact that the Kinshasa doesn't come out of nowhere, that he kind of hypes it up and the match is kind of ending. I wish it would come out of nowhere, because I think that would step it up just a little bit in my personal opinion. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter. It was all about Shinsuke finally getting his first match in WWE, not NXT, on the actual card, and in the end, he did a great job. So I have to give hats off to Dolph Ziggler here. Dolph Ziggler really... To be honest with you, I thought he did really well. I was thinking this was going to be... I didn't think it was going to be a full blowout, because obviously they wouldn't put Shinsuke against Dolph for no reason. Dolph really shined at some points. There was a lot of psychology in the match, and the fact that Dolph Ziggler spit in the face of Shinsuke Nakamura, like my man just like he literally spit in Shinsuke Nakamura's face. You have to think about that. That's a pretty big moment in wrestling history. I posted that on Twitter, and some people made some jokes about it. For the most part, though, I think the big thing is Shinsuke looks strong. Shinsuke won, but Dolph Ziggler didn't go down really easily. He did put up a fight, and that's what you want. I mean, I tweeted before the match as a joke, like, Dolph Ziggler, like, who are you? What are you doing? But when you truly think about it, I thought Dolph Ziggler did a great job. It allowed Shinsuke Nakamura to shine, and that's all you need. Then comes times for the Usos versus Breezango. So Breezango is this group that's a comedy group. They do the fashion police, and there's a lot of things going on with WWE right now that, I'll be honest with you, I thought they did a good job with the comedy segments, and really building up to this has been a lot different than most of the builds for the most part for a lot of people. And I actually really enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was actually pretty cool. Because for the most part, the one thing that I want to keep in mind when it comes to Breezango and the Usos is that the Usos are a very heelish tag team. They're very upfront and brash. They're very forward about what they're there to do. They're there as a heel. They're bad guys. They wear the title around the neck. Jimmy or Jay, I don't know which one does it. And then they come to the ring, and then all of a sudden they have a comedy tag team between Tyler Breeze and Fandango. And I think that's where the psychology kind of came in tonight, was they were expecting a serious match. They're a serious heel tag team. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you have Tyler Breeze wearing a wig. Like, think about that. Like, honestly, 100% think about that. Like, you're out there in the ring, and you're a serious heel tag team, and you're like, all right, let's go. I'm ready to go. Fisticuffs. And then your opponent's wearing a wig and donning a janitor broom. Like, that's a thing, like, you really have to take into consideration and you have to think about. And I think that kind of messed with him a little bit. So, for the most part, I actually really enjoyed the match. And the fact that the Usos did retain, I was kind of hoping Breezango would pull the win out of nowhere. But in the end, the Usos did win. But I don't think it was the worst way to go. Because obviously later on in the night we had a huge change, which we're going to talk about, which I'm so excited about. It's the only thing I want to talk about in this video, really. Then we had Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Now, I actually personally 100% thought that Baron Corbin should have won this match. Me personally, I know I love Sami Zayn. He's like one of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE right now. But I thought if Baron Corbin had won, and then he would have kind of a Kevin Owens build from last year where he would lose and then eventually win in the grand finale, I thought that would have been a little bit better. But here, Sami Zayn did beat Baron Corbin out of nowhere with a haluva kick, which wasn't necessarily bad. But I honestly was hoping it would go the other way, and that's just my personal opinion.
You do not want to miss this special edition of NXT.
Drew McIntyre takes on...
And that's coming from, like, the number one fan of him. It is like, I was really disappointed in the fact that that was happening, but that's just me personally. So Sami Zayn would end up getting the victory, and he would go on to bigger and better things, as we had some audio interrupt us there for just a short second, as the network actually, you guys saw it pulled off my TV. So then we had the Welcoming Committee versus what is Becky Lynch doing? Like, at WrestleMania, it was the character from Horizon Dawn, I think, was the character she was kind of modeling after. And tonight, I think I saw a bunch of tweets like, what is she doing? Like, at this point, it just didn't make sense. And then you had Charlotte and Naomi. Now, I actually thought that, I know some people had tweeted this, I thought Carmella might pin Naomi to try to set a feud apart, but in the end, it was Natalya making Becky Lynch tap out. So Naomi and Charlotte, the champions that fought each other for the title, ended up not losing. It was, in fact, Becky Lynch, one of the women of the Four Horsewomen, that ended up tapping out and losing. So it wasn't their teammates that had fought for the championship. It was Becky Lynch, who may have had some ring rust. When I say ring rust, I don't mean like as an actual ring rust, because obviously she wrestles quite a bit, but I mean like in the title matches, she really hasn't had a title match since Alexa Bliss, which really hasn't been that long, but for the most part, if you think about it, there really is no reason that Becky Lynch couldn't tap out to Natalya, because I would say that I think the welcoming committee was a little out of nowhere, especially everything that happened to bring back Tamina. Like, Shane really kind of swerved us with Tamina coming back. But when you had Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina get a victory out of nowhere, especially with Natalya getting the win, I think Natalya can really help the women's division on SmackDown, and it can really separate them a little bit. So I'm all for the fact that she got the win. Now the question is, does she get a title opportunity out of this, or does the welcoming committee still really push towards something, and are they going to be the bigger thing? Because that's the thing you're going to want to watch out for, because I think Natalya should get the title opportunity, in my opinion, because right now you really don't have a number one contender. You got to figure out who's going to challenge for that title going forward. And if Charlotte's on the team and they've joined together, should she really be the number one contender? Then we had Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles, which I got to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't see the match. I came back within the last 5 minutes of the match. I went to the store, I came back, and I saw the count out. I saw a great match, and then I saw the count out, or the ending part. Then I saw the count out with his foot getting caught, and then Kevin Owens winning. I want to say this, that it's a great way to have a great match and then protect AJ Styles to not necessarily losing, but to getting counted out. There's a big difference to that, in my opinion, because if AJ Styles were to lose clean, it may be a problem. But the fact that he won it, he lost in a way that was a little bit more shady, and the fact that Kevin Owens won, I was about to mix it up there a little bit. The fact that Kevin Owens won in a way that's a little bit more, it's not as straightforward. I think it really kind of separates everybody and allows them a little bit more leeway, and they can, have more matches, because I think AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens is a huge feud. They can make it big, especially with Jinder Mahal now as your champion. Randy's going to get his rematch, obviously, whether it's on pay-per-view or whether they burn it on a SmackDown Live. We're going to have to wait and see. But who steps up then? Is it going to be Shinsuke Nakamura? Like, if you think about it, like, Randy Orton as a champion is cool. He beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, but now Jinder Mahal has beat him. So now, do you have a heel come in and then destroy him? Maybe somebody like Nakamura. Nakamura's champion already, or Kevin Owens, or somebody like that. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Then you had Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan. The crowd was not into this match, and as much as I want to be honest with you, the crowd was just not into this match. They were dead, and I thought they actually put on quite a good match for what I was expecting, I guess, is the best term to put it in, because what I was expecting was a little bit different than what I got. But Eric Rowan tried to use the power of the mask. He tried to walk towards it a little bit, and then in the end of it, it turned up not working. Now, they said at the end it was a clothesline that got him the victory. It was actually an elbow. I don't know if he didn't give him enough room to hit it or what, but it ended up being an elbow, not a lariat, or the clothesline from hell. And JBL should know that, because that's JBL's finishing maneuver. But for the most part, I think I could have went either way on this. I saw the tweets from a lot of the wrestling commentators, the wrestling dirt sheets, talking about Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, that Luke Harper was kind of like lightning in a bottle. He came out of nowhere, or not necessarily came out of nowhere, but he got this huge hot streak, and then WWE didn't really do anything with it. But now Eric Rowan, because his story is kind of getting this push, and then between them, they should have had more family emotion. I will say this. I think the match was kind of straight up between two big guys, and they should have had a little bit more emotion if you consider the fact that there is such history with the Wyatt family. I think if it had been booked a little bit more on the fact of the history of the Wyatt family itself, the match would have been a little bit more, you would have felt more. You would have, believed it more. You would have dived in just a tad bit more. But for the most part, I don't think it was the worst thing in the world that WWE could have done. Luke Harper is a huge talent. We talked about him last year, possibly facing Brock Lesnar, and then you saw what happened this year. But Braun Strowman got a huge push. Luke Harper has got a push now. So the former Wyatt family is doing very well in the WWE landscape, at least in my opinion. So not the worst ending in the world. Then we come time for the Maharaja, which I will say this. WWE... I got to drink a little bit more of this. WWE, you're pushing me to drink here because you said the word Maharaja, so many of the key words tonight. You've used many times throughout the night. Maharaja. I can't think of the other ones right off the top of my head, but there was a bunch of keywords that WWE is using tonight. Let me know in the comment section below what they were, because WWE was really hitting on some big points. And I will say this. I talked about this a little bit in my tweets a little bit, that said if the Singh brothers didn't get involved, it wouldn't make much sense for, Jinder to beat Randy clean. But if the Singh brothers got involved, it 100% made sense because, Jinder was a guy in the 3MB and really didn't do anything, really didn't get a chance to shine. He went to the indie scene. He came back ripped better than ever. Whether people think he's on steroids or not, it doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, the thing that matters the most is he's your WWE champion for SmackDown Live. He's your WWE Live. It's so weird to say. WWE SmackDown Live champion, which India is a huge growing market for WWE, so I 100% understand why they're doing it. But when it comes to Randy Orton, I think this makes all the sense in the world because Randy Orton attacked him before the match. So Randy Orton was taking him more seriously than I think a lot of people would. So the psychology of that is, everybody's like, oh, it's Jinder Mahal. Like he's from 3MP. He doesn't do anything. But Randy Orton took him seriously before the match and went and attacked him, and he went right after him. But in the end, the Singh brothers kind of distracted Randy Orton. Randy Orton would put, damaging moves on him, would hit the DDT on both of them inside the ring after attacking him on the outside. And in the end, Jinder Mahal would run back in and then hit his finisher and then pin Randy Orton for the 1, 2, 3, and people would boo. And the night before for WWE NXT, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano would face the Authors of Pain, and you saw what happened in the huge reaction they had. So the one thing that I want to say here is Jinder Mahal, the Maharaja, the guy that I said, you don't hinder Jinder, it's a real thing. 100% it's a real thing. So watch out for Jinder Mahal. It's a big push. It's a big thing. I'm really excited for it. I want to know what you guys think of Jinder Mahal, but that's the only thing I can feel that I can truly end this on, that Jinder Mahal is the real deal. And the fact that it isn't just Jinder Mahal alone, the fact that it's the Singh brothers there with him is a huge standing point I think people really have to realize. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys, of WWE Backlash. I have to be honest with you. I really enjoyed it, but I think for the most part, WWE NXT was a little bit better. I wouldn't be disappointed if they put NXT on Raw or SmackDown and just called quits on one of the shows, because it wasn't that bad overall. My surprises of the night were definitely, I thought Baron Corbin was going to win. That's just me personally. And then that was it. That's the only thing that I got wrong, was I thought that Baron Corbin was going to beat Sami Zayn. All the other matches went exactly how I thought they would go, but that's just me personally. Until next time, it's your boy W. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think. Are you a fan of Jinder Mahal? Are you celebrating to the Maharaja? Are you partying? Are you celebrating? As you got to take a drink of it. Me personally, I'm a big fan. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until next time, it's your boy Tubby. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/TubbyEmu. You can also follow on Facebook. I don't know why you would. It's just kind of posting when the videos go live. Facebook.com/TubbyEmu. But until next time, it's your boy TubbyEmu. We've got to go celebrate the Maharaja. And until next time, we will see you all later.